Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you are the Prince of Cups. This is a very authentic energy. This is somebody who is trying to stay true to themselves in a very emotional world, right? In a very high pressure, high stakes world, you're trying to stay true to yourself. You're somebody that has a voice. You're somebody who has their own vision, their own truth, their own personality, their own self-awareness. You have your own you, right? And you're in a situation right now where there's a lot of pressure on you to be somebody else. And you're saying, no, I'm not going to be somebody else. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to adapt and all that stuff, but I'm not going to violate who I am. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. This is a very authentic card, someone that has a voice, okay? Somebody that knows who they are. And I think that you are in a situation where it would be very easy for you to kind of give in and just sort of and take on all of the qualities of the people or things around you. If that maybe you're in a group of people, maybe it's just kind of the world or the internet or your family or something. You don't want to become like everybody else, okay? You're trying to maintain your own identity, your own sovereignty, your own spirit, your own authenticity in this vast ocean of, of other influences. Yeah. I think right now you're very sensitive to other influences coming in. I feel like the water here is very impressionable. Okay, so I feel like you're taking in a lot of other people's energies and trying not to lose sight of who you are, trying to still stay connected with you at the core. Let's put this card into a little bit of context and see what is going on in your life. There we look at that. We kind of have a shell now being put on the water energy, the very sensitive, delicate water. We now are putting like a solid structure around it, okay? So I think in a very practical way, you're building up your own defenses and own practices and your own techniques for dealing with the sometimes overwhelming energy of life. Another Taurus reference. Interesting. The Prince of Pentacles is Taurus, and of course the Hierophant is Taurus. I would watch the Taurus reading if I were you. We have an 8 of Wands. We have a Princess of Swords. We have a 9 of Swords. We have a 10 of Wands. We've got the Empress. We have a 4 of Wands. And we have an Ace of Wands. I feel like you're going your own way, Gemini. I really do. Even with the 9, especially with the 9 of Swords, this is kind of like, this is the painful truth, right? This is that veil of you're going to go through this, and this is kind of like this is the gauntlet. This is you trying to kind of, squeeze through the chain link fence. It's going to hurt a little bit, but it's freedom on the other side. So I feel like you're kind of you're in a situation where you feel like it's putting too much pressure on you to compromise yourself or what you believe in or who you are. And you know that it's going to be a difficult ending, but you're saying, I gotta do it. I gotta walk my own path here. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with our little sea turtle friend right there on top. Still don't have a name. has no name but is the wisest of the guardians that we have for the mystery card, right? Advises that we slow down a little bit. We don't want to be hasty, okay? And I think that's good. I think, especially for you with that 8 of Wands in the background, I feel like there's a background anxiety here. Of course, our sea turtle is telling us, don't go too fast. We got to swim, right? I believe sea turtles can probably swim very quickly, in the right type of current. But we're being told to not be hasty, but to find the right current for ourselves and then paddle like hell. Pardon my language. This is a family show. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. As we look around the room here, we see our 2 major arcana energies. We see the inner Hierophant and the outer Empress. Okay? The outer comforts. This is like something in the environment that's kind of telling you, oh, just come over here. It's okay. We'll take care of you. And sort of is trying to reach out to you and go like this to absorb you into it. Against your inner knowing. You have this rock solid part of you that says, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I'm capable of. I don't need to be almost seduced by something outside of me. That would be, it's kind of like saying, it would be easier. Just come here and be with us and we'll take care of you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to, experience the hardships of the world, and we'll console you and we'll take care of you. And I feel like you're kind of resisting that. So we see these 2 cards are kind of like, it's too, they're opposing forces a bit. We've got fire, fire, and fire. I like the trio of fire that we have. It's always interesting when we have the same element or even the same numbers, right? Or even major arcana, something along those lines. But a similarity between these points. Okay? Because in a way, this is past, this is present, this is future. But on a kind of a larger scale, on a more, on a more spiritual kind of timeline. Just as we have, here kind of in the horizontal realm, we see past, present, and future. It may be that the situation you're in now, you sort of got into it too quickly. And now you're realizing that it kind of is like it's shaping you in a way that you don't want to be shaped. And so we're maybe thinking, okay, the way forward is going to hurt, but it's probably for the best. Okay, Mars in Gemini, this is a separation. This is you standing up for yourself. It's the pain of division. It's realizing what you need to separate yourself from, because you cannot protect your energy forever. And you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't be in a situation where you feel so vulnerable that you have to put up your defenses all the time. Just because you can put on your armor doesn't mean that you should all the time, right? So this may be a situation that, I could probably sit there and endure it, but I shouldn't have to. I should be able to just be my authentic self and be, let's say, accepted for who I am. It's almost like the Empress is saying, you can stay here and be with us, but you have to be just like us. Okay? I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know if this is literally the case, if somebody's literally saying that to you, or if this is the way that you are seeing things. Okay? Because it feels as if you're not being accepted for who you are. It's like, I will love you, but you have to be somebody different. Is that okay? And you're like, yeah, of course. Wait, no, what? No. And so we're not willing to compromise who we are just to get the support, love, affection, or whatever is being offered in return from this other entity or this other person or this environment. But that's the way you're seeing the environment, because the Empress is in that position of how you see the world. And you may see it now as being very tempting. It's kind of like, it's like that's your bed at home saying, just come lay down. You don't have to go, you don't have to get up and go to work. You don't have to go and struggle through life. Just come back to bed. Come back and lie down. It's safe here. We'll take care of you, It's very tempting. Okay? But it would mean that you had to kind of give up on who you were. Obviously, because there's a reason why I want to get up out of bed. But then your bed's saying, no, just stay here and be with us, So in order to, if I were to give in to that voice, give in to the Empress in that seduction and get back in bed, it would mean that I had to give up on that part of myself that wanted to get up and do something else, you know? So it's a compromise of our own identity in a way. So you have the trio of fire, which I think is very interesting. Again, the 10 being an ending and the ace being a beginning. The 8 may be saying, well, you know, maybe we had sort of gotten ourselves into a situation rather quickly or impulsively without really thinking too much. But that's okay. We're here now. And so now is what we have to deal with. We have a little bit of water right here, and this is what we're trying to protect, right? With this earth energy, we've got a little bit of air and air. And you've got your earth card. Okay. Now, the Prince of Pentacles, this is somebody that shows up every day. This is the builder. So these two cards, it's kind of it's a water to earth. It's kind of saying, like, what kind of life am I building? How am I building myself, my personality, and my personal reality? Am I doing it in an authentic way? Or am I in service to something that has hypnotized me, has seduced me into doing something, building something up, constructing something, a relationship, a business, a life, or whatever it is. So the battlefield is our second card, the Prince, right, of Pentacles. And it's asking, what are we building? What are we constructing? What are we making with our lives right now? Is it authentic? Is it somebody else telling us, does it feel like this is maybe a parent that's saying, that's the life you're supposed to have, and I'll love you and I'll support you, but you got to give up on your silly dreams, This could be that sort of parent-child relationship, but this doesn't have to be a parent figure. This can be our perception of the world, our perception of our partner or our boss, right? We can have this dynamic anywhere in life. And it may feel as if this person isn't going to love me unless I do exactly what they want me to do and I become the person that they want me to be. But I don't want to do that because I know that I'm supposed to be myself, right? And so the cards are asking, what is it that we're building in our life and why? Why are we constructing the life that we are? Okay. Now, underneath the surface, you've got your Hierophant, the inner knowing. This is the wisdom inside of you. It feels like this is a mature, really like a rock steady kind of energy. This is somebody that knows who they are, knows the world that they want to create. This is somebody that knows what is sacred to them, has a sense of identity, has a sense of wisdom. It's kind of like saying, I'm 45 years old, or at least almost. I think that might have been the first time I ever actually said my age on this channel. But I guess I didn't yet, so can't catch me. It's like, wait a minute, I'm almost 45 years old. I don't need to be, I don't need to be engaged in this kind of a dynamic, where it's like, I know who I am. I know that my life is mine to create, even if I have no idea what I'm doing, no idea what I'm going to build, but I know that I'm not going to compromise what I believe in, or I'm not going to settle, or I'm not going to be complacent in a dynamic where it feels like I'm not going to be loved or appreciated or valued unless I become somebody different. So again, it feels like it's a parent saying, okay, you can live here, I'll love you, I'll support you, but you got to give up on your silly dreams. Whether I have silly dreams or not, the point is, I'm not cool with that dialogue. I'm not cool with what you just said to me, And so I feel like we're not standing for that. And with you, I do feel like you know what your silly dream is. And you know that it is sacred to you. And you have this inner wisdom, this inner knowing that says, no, you know what, I'd rather struggle on my own than be in that dynamic where, I might have the comfort or the love or the consolation of this Empress figure. But it means that I have to compromise my sovereignty. I have to compromise my own agency. That I'm being asked to give up on my identity or what I value or what I hold sacred. And I'm not willing to do that, even if what I value and hold sacred is nonsense, or maybe I don't know what it even is yet. But I'm not willing to have that kind of a relationship, okay? And in the background, yeah, we've got our Eight of Wands. There's a swiftness here, okay? It may be that suddenly we find ourselves in this predicament. This is a pickle, right? We suddenly find ourselves here. We don't know how we got here. It could be that through random series of events in life, here we are in this position where we find ourselves building perhaps somebody else's life, or just performing the services that somebody else, kind of said that we need to. It's, the builder energy is not a bad energy in any way. This is somebody that shows up every day. This is somebody that kind of knows what their role is and shows up and performs that role to the best of their ability without complaining, right? Without trying to rock the boat in any way. And that's totally great as long as it resonates with who you are. And as long as it feels like, yeah, this is, I'm comfortable with this. I like this. This is good. I'm building up my life in a way that feels right to me. However, this Nine of Swords in the future position, yeah, I think that is the veil of that painful truth. Okay, first we got to stop up here with our Princess of Swords. This is somebody that's still learning. We have a juxtaposition here between an inner certainty and an external curiosity. This is the student, this is the teacher. Okay, so, excuse me, I think what Spirit is saying is that in your unconscious, you do have this sovereignty. You do have this self-actualization potential. You do have this inner wisdom and this inner knowing and this sense of sacredness, this sense of purpose. Okay? But in your conscious mind, you may be saying, well, maybe I am still a kid. Maybe I don't really know where I'm going. Maybe I should take this offer. Maybe I should just kind of give up on my silly dreams and go do the thing that, would be way easier. This is kind of a child. And this would be that we maybe consciously feel that this dynamic must be accurate, right? Rather than really being aware of this inner Hierophant and saying, no, I'm standing up against this because I don't need to be offered I don't need to be consoled. I don't need to be offered the sort of, that comfort or that ease or that support or that love under those conditions that I compromise my authenticity. Okay? But if we still feel like the child, then this could be our boss, this could be our spouse, this could be our best friend, and we'll feel like they must know better. And if I don't get their approval, I need to work harder to get their approval. That must mean that there's something wrong with my authentic self, and I need to change who I am so that this person will love me. The Hierophant, of course, that inner knowing, this is your true stature inside of you, Gemini, that says, I don't need that dynamic. This is, I think, the moment where we finally feel like we're no longer in that parent-child dynamic, that it's like we're equals. That we're both adults. It's kind of like that moment. Do we ever reach that moment with our own parents? Do we ever reach that moment where we feel like equal adults? And it's not like, as soon as you go back to your childhood home with your parents, suddenly you feel like you're like 10 years old again, And it's like suddenly then you're like, don't slam the screen door, like that sort of thing, right? When do we ever feel like we're finally just on equal ground with those types of dynamics in those hierarchies, right? Of parent to child, or even boss to employee, business owner to an employee, or someone older, younger, right? That sort of dynamic. When does that cease to exist for us? I think that's part of our question. The Nine of Swords in the future position is that painful threshold. It is you extricating yourself from something that is not serving you any longer. And it might mean that going forward, it's going to be difficult. This is you squeezing through the chain link fence, and it's going to hurt. That chain link fence is going to give you some scrapes, okay? But it is, those are going to be the wounds of your authenticity, okay? Rather than the deeper wound of remaining in this kind of a dynamic, okay? So this might be, you speaking up. This might be you taking a stand and really asserting yourself. It's Mars in Gemini. So it's about you taking the initiative, you bringing the fire here, you taking a chance to say, no, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to live the life that I want to live for myself, even if it's ridiculous, even if my dreams are silly, even if I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. I want to build my life the way that resonates with me. And this might be difficult, and sometimes the Nine of Swords is enough for us to say no. And it could be that the Empress is saying, you don't want to go out there on your own because life's going to be too challenging. You're better to stay here in bed. And so the idea of, look, I can do the difficult thing of breaking up with this person, or getting out of bed and going and exercising, or getting up and going to work or whatever. I can make the difficult decision of like quitting the job or whatever it is, or breaking off that communication with that friend, whatever it might be. I can do that, but that's going to be rough. That's not going to be fun. So the alternative is we just give in and we just acquiesce. And we just say, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll do whatever you want me to do. And then it feels as if we have lost a piece of ourselves. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, Gemini, please do. The readings are free. It really supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Check out my other channels too. Dove and Serpent Radio, Dove and Serpent Daily, and Tarot Logic. And check out my wife's channel, Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Okay. We're here for you. We got you. The Ten of Wands is your general energy. I feel like you had it up to here. I feel like there's a breaking point. I feel like in some ways, we're so worn down by this that it's just like, I'm either going to give up and just totally give in to this Empress energy, or I'm going to have to walk away. I'm going to have to totally break up with this person, or quit this job, or leave this situation, get out of this dynamic. Things cannot stay the way they are. This is, it's too much. There's tension. You're already tired. There's a fatigue I feel with you. Okay. There's tension. You hold tension in your like chest and shoulders. Yeah. And I think it kind of goes to like your back and stuff too. It feels like there's too much of anything. And to me, it feels like this is something that, again, we're not really sure how we got here. It seemed like a lot of twists and turns, but we're here, and it may have happened very quickly. We're here, but I feel like this is you saying, okay, I need to end this. It may be painful, yeah. It may not be a fun conversation, but there's no alternative here. Something needs to be finished up. It feels like a very oppressive energy, and your true self is not going to be oppressed. So the Four of Pentacles, we talked about the Empress, obviously, right? This is the way you see the world right now. This is what you see in the environment. You see something that looks very tempting. It looks very seductive, but you know that it's kind of, in a way, soul-crushing, okay? You know that if you were to accept this, it would mean a compromise of your true self, of your values, of your authenticity, etc. Now, the next card here is the Four of Wands. To me, the Four of Wands is kind of a card of redecorating. You know, it's a card that says I need to finish out this cycle because I'm ready to start kind of decorating my life the way I want to. It's kind of like you can live in your parents' house, but you can't rearrange the furniture. You can't change anything in the house. You can't put up your own decorations. And it's kind of like, well, what's the trade-off? It's like, well, it's a place to live, and, you know, maybe the parents will cook and do the laundry, but I gotta like live in my old room. I can't paint anything. I can't get rid of the furniture. I certainly can't like make any big changes in the house. I can't like change anything in the backyard. It's like I have to accept it exactly how it is. I can't change anything. So the trade-off, that's kind of, that's what we're doing. But this card is Venus in Aries. To me, this is the card that's saying, I want to surround myself with things that appeal to me. I want to have my life resonate with who I am. And I don't want to have to adapt just to fit into something. Do I want that so bad that I'm willing to compromise who I am in order to have it? I think this is a card that's saying I need to keep going. This is a card that's kind of saying like I need closure. I need to complete this phase of things. Right? It's kind of like once we're done with this, we're going to the next stage. Okay? I feel like the Hierophant is kind of like your spirit guy like screaming at you right now, saying it's time to just put an end to this dynamic. Because maybe this is a wheel, this is a merry-go-round we've been on again and again and again. Maybe this is not the first time we've been in a situation where we have felt like the child in a relationship with an older sort of, a parent energy. Okay, maybe this plays out in a lot of ways. Maybe it's an echo of your parent-child relationship from when you were a kid. And now this is something that's echoing in your romantic relationships, in your work relationships, in your job thing, in friendships. It's kind of like, why do I always feel like the kid? I got to put an end to this. You got to put an end to the dynamic, to that echo. Okay? Not even necessarily, I got to put an end to this relationship I'm in. I've got to put an end to that dynamic. And maybe we do that by recognizing it for one thing. Okay? Understand, maybe seeing it. Seeing how it's been playing out in our lives more than one place. And I think if we can resolve that, if we can recognize that and try to find some way to close that cycle out, or to step out of that echo, I think we'll find much more fulfillment and joy in life. The next card is the Ace of Wands. In some ways, it's saying the cycle is going to start again. But I think that if we can recognize that pattern, then this might be like a new lease on life. This might be now we've leveled up. We've emerged from this cycle, this pattern, and we're kind of free now to choose our own adventure. The Ace of Wands being the card of vision, being the card of inspiration, okay? Following our own inner wisdom, our own inner knowing, following our authenticity, and going whatever way we choose in our authentic way. That I'm not letting this dynamic make choices for me, because then I'll find myself right back in this dynamic. We're making different sort of choices now. Our true will is being activated, and we're following our own path. Maybe this is all those silly dreams that the Empress was asking you to compromise, and you're saying, no, I'm not going to compromise my silly dreams. I'm going to go out there and pursue them like they are sacred, divine inspirations, which they are. Now, let's look at our mystery card. I want this to be, I was going to say water energy, but maybe not. I kind of feel like it's going to be a 6 of something. Yeah. I feel like it might be the Lover's card, your superpower card, and also talking about us finding the right kind of dynamic. That we're out of that sort of parent-child dynamic, and we're in now an equal partner, deep bond, spiritual bond, kind of supportive, reciprocating, equal footing partnership. That, I think, would be nice. If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments. Oh, the Strength card, okay. This position of the spread is what we need to develop in order to walk forward. It's courage, strength, okay, strength. The strength not to just simply endure what we've been enduring and just saying, well, it sucks, but this is what I got to do. But the courage and the strength that says, I can follow my own will. I can follow my own path. I can change this circumstance. I don't have to just continually suppress what it is that I truly want and who I truly am just to fit into this. We don't have to go along just to get along. I don't have to squeeze myself down in order to fit into. I don't have to become a square peg just so I can fit in a square hole. Right? Maybe the other way around. I don't know. But you know what I mean. Because the Strength card, this is not about suppressing the beast or the fire within or the creative will or anything like that, the passions. It's not about trying to stifle it. It's not about trying to domesticate ourselves. It's about having the courage to harness that passion and that creative energy and that creative will. Okay, we're not trying to break our own spirit here. We don't want to let this situation, this dynamic, tame us. Right? We don't want to turn the great lion into a little kitty cat. No. I mean, I like cats, but I guess I'm kind of becoming more of a dog person, but you understand what I mean. We want the lion to be a lion. We're not going to force it to be a cat. As cute as cats are, lions are meant to be lions. You're meant to be you, not a shrunken down, tamed, pacified, and kind of like innocuous, version of you. So I hope that's not offensive. I hope that resonates with you. This is what the energy is that's coming through. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.